Hello, what's up, guy? And nice to see you. And welcome back to our regional polytechnic institute design board. And today, video lesson, I'm going to share with you all about the US and Iran. And I strongly know that everyone have heard the news and the history between the two countries in the past, the US and Iran. And before I let you know to this new point, I also have some question to ask you back in the point that you studied last week. Last week you studied about non-proliferation, right? The non-proliferation treaty. So my question is, what does NPT stand for? Okay, what does NPT stand for? If you know my question, you know the answer to the question, please pause my video and answer. Okay, the answer, NPT stands for, it stands for non-proliferation treaty. Yes, it is in our headline. Yeah. So NPT stands for non-proliferation treaty. And the next question to ask about this NPT, what did the NPT enter into force? If you know the answer, please pause the video for a second and then answer. So it entered into force. It entered into force in 1970. In 1970. Thank you. Okay, that's all. Thank you guys for listening, and also write down about the question and the answer. Okay, now let's move on to this new about the US and Iran. So you have to study the vocabulary first, because it has lots of technical terms for you. The first one is strategic. Strategic. Geostrategic means relating to the strategy required in dealing with geopolitical problems. It means យុទ្ធសាស្ត្រភូមិសាស្ត្រនយោបាយ យុទ្ធសាស្ត្រភូមិសាស្ត្រនយោបាយ Geostrategic means យុទ្ធសាស្ត្រភូមិសាស្ត្រនយោបាយ and buffer here it means barrier or រាំង buffer or រាំង and about fuel means sometimes that fuels a feeling or a type of behavior increases or makes it stronger. ជំរុញ and western orientated means ផ្ដោតលើលោកខាងលិច ផ្ដោតលើលោកខាងលិច coincidence an occasion when two or more similar things happen at the same time, especially in a way that is unlikely and surprising. ការកើតឡើងដំណាលគ្នា yes, coincidence. Underdeveloped means not fully developed. អភិវឌ្ឍដោយមិនពេញលេញ yes, and or we can say that developing state. Undeveloped state, it may mean developing state. And styline, already know. Okay, league. The first word, this word is league means groups of people or countries who join together because they have the same interests. Yeah, like Krom. Yeah, and coward, coward, hidden or secret, and bang. Yes, and coup, a sudden illegal, often violent taking of government power, especially by part of an army. Rod Prahar. Yes, coup. Conspire to plan secretly with other people to do things bad, illegal, or against someone's wishes. In our language, it means that room kumnat or khukhat. Yes, and fear, not continuous. It is not used. Yeah, it is not used in continuous tense. To be frightened or something. Yeah, or someone unpleasant. Clang, crying. Yeah, fear. And let's vote towards the left in politics. Towards the left in politics. And inter interventionist of the government, it focuses about the government or their actions, often becoming involved either in the problems of another country or in the economy of one's own country. Yeah, interventionist. Watermark, a mark made in some types of paper during its production that can only be seen if it is held against the light. Pip that damn, yeah, watermark. And volatility, volatility, volatility means the ability to change rapidly and unpredictably, especially for the worse. Pip rule. uh, embroil, to cause someone to become involved in an argument or a difficult situation to appear upon. Crisis, it's in plural. uh, an extremely difficult or dangerous point in a situation, but yeah, actually this word and in I and S, but it is changed. Yeah, it is changed into plural. So it is dropped I to E. Yeah, and add S. Decolonization, the process in which a country that was previously a colony. Yeah, colony means controlled by another country. Become politically independent. ការផ្ដាច់ទឹកដីការអាណានិគមការដាក់អាណានិគម yeah ការផ្ដាច់ទឹកដី and ongoing, continuing to exist or develop or happening at the present moment ដែលកំពុងកើតឡើង volatile, yeah, volatile are likely to change suddenly and unexpectedly, or suddenly become violent or angry ដែលងាយបង្កជាហេតុ volatile. Okay, and unstable, not solid and firm, and therefore not strong, safe, or likely to last. ភាពមិនថិតថេរ yeah, unstable. Manifestation means a sign of something existing or happening សញ្ញាឬការបង្ហាញ internal, existing or happening inside person, object, organization, place or country ខាងក្នុង aspire to something, aspire to greater stature. Yeah, aspire to something means to have a strong wish or hope to do or have something ปรารถนาจองบาน aspire and stature the good reputation the good reputation a person or organization has based on their behavior or ability គេឈ្មោះល្អ at the very least means យ៉ាងហោចណាស់ at the very least and predominance a situation in which one person or groups of people has more important or a power than others public law predominance autocratic means relating to an autocrat swipe yes rule ការគ្រប់គ្រងharbor to think about or feel something usually over a long period grand impressive large or important grand premier especially used in the news reports the leader of the government of a country or of a large part of a country เช่นមុខគេ premier weaponry it focuses on weapons in general and stabilize make or become unlikely to give way or overturn ស្ថិរភាព caveat a warning to consider something before acting further or a statement that limits a more general statement ការព្រមានប្រយ័ត្ន caveat and envision to imagine or expect something in the future especially something good ស្រមៃ but it focuses on something good antagonistic actively opposing or showing unfriendliness towards something or someone ដែលប្រឆាំង antagonistic facet one part of a subject situation etc that has many parts ផ្នែក facet hence that is the reason or explanation for ហេតុនេះ pack to come or bring together in large numbers or to fill a space it means ពោពេញ intrigue to making of a secret plan to do something especially something that will harm another person កលបាច់ okay divergent tending to be different or develop in different directions ផ្សេងគ្នាឬខុសគ្នា now move on to the next one about the Iran hostage crisis episode a single event or groups of related event ព្រឹត្តិការណ៍ hostage someone who is taken as a prisoner by an enemy in order to force the other people involved to do what the enemy wants ចំណាប់ខ្មាំង hostage and capture to take someone as a prisoner or to take something into your possession especially by force ចាប់ personnel the people who are employed in a company organization or one of the armed forces បុគ្គលិក personnel exile, exile, the condition of someone being sent or kept away from their own country, village, etc., especially for political reasons. ការនិរទេស stand trial, stand trial, to be put on trial in a law court, ជំនុំជម្រះ stand trial. Torture, to cause great physical or mental pain to someone intentionally. ធ្វើទរណកម្ម dissident, a person who publicly disagree with and criticizes their government អ្នកប្រឆាំង អ្នករិះគន់ អ្នកប្រឆាំងរដ្ឋាភិបាល yes. Bargaining chip. Bargaining chip means something that someone else wants that you are willing to lose in order to reach an agreement. ជាថ្នូរ ការដោះដូរ ការព្រមព្រៀង yes. Bargaining chip. And uncharted waters. Uncharted waters. Uncharted waters, it's called a idiom, a situation that is not family and may be dangerous. ស្ថានភាពដែលងាយគ្រោះថ្នាក់ cleric means a priest បព្វជិត អ្នកបួស sanction, an official order such as the stopping of trade that is taking against the country in order to make it obey international law. ដាក់ទណ្ឌកម្ម one more meaning to formally give permission for something អនុម័ត yes. Okay, and about innocuous, completely harmless, causing no harm, yes. គ្មានគ្រោះថ្នាក់ terrace house, a house that is joined to the houses on either side of it by shared walls. អាគារដែលមានផ្ទះជាប់ៗគ្នា ដូចជាអាគារដែលនៅប្រទេសអង់គ្លេសហ្នឹង yes. And entry means the act of entering a place or joining a particular society or organization. ចូល yes. Disregard, the fact of showing no care or respect for something. មិនអើពើ disregard. And okay, Geneva Convention, it focuses on an agreement accepted by most countries of the world that establishes standards for the reasonable treatment of soldiers and other people involved in periods of war. អនុសញ្ញាទីក្រុងហ្សឺណែវ yes. Let's pronounce this word again. Geneva Convention. Predictably, as expected, ជាការរំពឹងទុក International pyre or a pyre state, a pyre state is a nation considered to be as the outcast in the international community. Actually, the state maybe face international isolation, sanction, and standoff, a situation in which agreement in an argument does not seem possible. ការប្រជុំមុខដាក់គ្នា yes. Decency, behavior that is good, moral, and acceptable in society. សុជីវធម៌ decency. Parade of the group to walk or march somewhere usually as part of a public celebration. Yeah. ព្យុហជាត្រា stock stock completely or extremely យ៉ាងខ្លាំង eventual happening or existing at a later time or at the end, especially after a lot of effort, yeah, problem, etc. ជាយថាហេតុ and stand means okay a ways of thinking about something, especially expressed in a publicly stated opinion. ជំហរ it focuses on idea គំនិត yes ជំហរ and one's friendly one friendly nation one friendly ដែលធ្លាប់ជាមិត្ត yeah and foe I mean an enemy សត្រូវ foe okay foe sever to break or separate, especially by cutting កាត់ផ្ដាច់ yeah កាត់ផ្ដាច់ okay I think that you only studied the two parts. Let's move on above to do together and also try to present together and about this US and Iran. Okay, the following the end of the Second World War, Iran found itself placed in a strategic hotspot. It shared a long border to its north with the Soviet Union and as a result acted as a geographical buffer to any Soviet move into the Middle East. Iran's wider location, known as the Persian Gulf, as a region that contained the world's largest known pool of oil, the steady supply of which was vital for the fueling of Western-oriented economies. So, a coincidence of time, place politics, and economics judged Iran in most ways of weak and underdeveloped state important. When Iran's king, known as the Shah, Shah is the Iran king. He was the Iran king, found himself sidelined by a powerful left-leaning government. The United States, in league with the British, conspire to restore where is it? Okay, to power while coward coup in 1953. During the Cold War, the United States feared that leftward political development in nation would result in a domestic communist revolution and or an alliance with the communist Soviet Union. In certain cases, therefore, the United States took interventionist action to contain communism from spreading. The coup was a watermark in U.S.-Iranian history. It set up a pattern of close relations that would last 24 years, as the Shah became a loyal ally of the United States in a volatile region. This volatility was not just due to Cold War geostrategic rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union. The wider region was embroiled in a series of crises caused by decolonization and the resulting phenomenon of Arab nationalism, regional opposition to the creation of Israel, and a major ongoing conflict between India and Pakistan. Then, as now, this was a highly unstable area of the world to live in. Iran has always been a nation that, despite different manifestation of its internal shape and character, has aspired to greater stature uh, internationally, or at the very least regional predominance. For example, the Shah, whose autocratic rule was brought to an end by the 1979 revolution that erased his regime and created the Islamic Republic of Iran, harbored grand design for Iran as the premier nation of the Middle East. This vision was shared by the United States, which armed Iran with advanced weaponry of the non-nuclear kind. Yeah, non-nuclear kind. During the Shah's rule, the United States hoped its support of the Shah would allow him to widen and deepen Iranian power in order to help stabilize the region. Iran today is not much different to the Shah Iran in the sense, that it exists within the same borders and is a nation of the same peoples. Uh, However, simply can caveat is that the regional and global role Iran was to play under the Shah was likely in line with American theories, while the role envisioned by the Islamic Republic of Iran is deeply antagonistic to just about every facet of American politics. Hence, U.S.-Iran relations are packed with insight and intrigue due to the history and divergent past. Uh, both both nations have experienced. Okay, let's move on about the Iran hostage crisis. Iran hostage crisis. To connect our U.S. Iran case study to the issue of diplomacy, we do not need to look far beyond the birth of the Islamic Republic of Iran to an episode known as the Iran hostage crisis. In November 1979, a gang of Iranian students invaded the U.S. embassy in Tehran, Iran's capital city, and captured the personnel they found there. This occurred after the Shah, who was in exile, had taken residence in New York for cancer treatment. The protester demanded his return to stand trial for various crimes committed by his regime, such as torturing political dissidents. So the prisoner, most of the U.S. diplomatic personnel, were taken hostage as a bargaining chip. Their freedom offered in exchange for the return of the Shah. The United States and Iran found themselves in uncharted waters uh, when Iran's new government, led by the once exiled anti-Shah cleric Ruhollah Khomeini, officially sanctioned the hostage taking. Due to established diplomatic custom, the embassy, although hosted on foreign soil is forbidden from being entered by the host state unless permission is given. So when the Iranian protesters invaded the U.S. embassy in Tehran, they violated key features of diplomacy developed over a century to allow diplomats the freedom to do their work. This is why, to use a more contemporary example, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange was able to avoid arrest by British police, by taking up residence in an innocuous a looking tourist house in London. The house is the embassy of Ecuador, and police were refused entry. Strain, yes, yeah, string, as it may sound, police officers were then stationed outside the door waiting to arrest Assange. Should be decided to leave. An operation that has cost the British taxpayer millions of pounds. It is evident from the Assange example how highly such diplomatic customs are regarded by nations, and how little this changes over time, even when those nations are in conflict. In Iran's case, its disregard for established diplomatic principles was both shocking and extreme. Not only did it violate established diplomatic principles, but hostage-taking by a state is defined as a war crime under the Geneva Convention. Uh, Predictably, the United States rejected Iran's demand, and the hostage crisis became a tense diplomatic standoff lasting for 44 days. It turned Iran into an international power. Uh, there was worldwide outrage at its disregard, not only for the rules of the international system but also for human decency, as it paraded the hostages bound and dead in front of news cameras. It also marked a new anti-Western political path for Iran, one in stark opposition to its pro-US stance during the time of the Shahs. Despite the eventual freeing of the hostages in January 1981, the once friendly nation had become foe. They had become foes. Following the crisis, all direct diplomatic links between the United States and Iran were severed until an issue of nuclear proliferation brought them to the same table over 30 years later. So thank you everybody for watching my video lesson, and write down vocabulary into your notebook. Thank you. If you have any question to ask, you can ask me about the Iran hostage crisis, the US and Iran. Thank you everybody. Goodbye. See you. Good luck.